So let's talk about the Baylor women. They, meanwhile, they started out last year 0-2 in the Big 12 and won the Big 12. So maybe that's hope
Good
for
point.
Scott
Yeah.
Drew's team. But this year, Nicki Collen's team is 2-0 in the Big 12 with wins over TCU and Oklahoma. Big road win over a top 25 team the other night. You watched that game on TV, and I'll weigh in on it here in a second. But what impressed you?
Well, obviously Sarah Andrews was pretty remarkable in that game. No, but Baylor got off to that great start in the first quarter. And then Oklahoma, they came back. It looked like they were kind of setting themselves up to win in Norman. But then Baylor just kind of steeled itself again, played some good defense, had some really good possessions, and really just made the plays they had to in the fourth quarter. And I thought, man, on the road, that's pretty impressive, especially early in Big 12, where, some girls hadn't played in the Big 12 before. They're still probably figuring some things out, but man, to have that kind of poise in the fourth quarter, I thought was really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. They actually never trailed in the game. Entire game, wire to wire, start to finish, they led it. OU made its runs, but Baylor just hung tough and made big shots. And to me, what was most impressive about it was, while it was a very impressive performance by the Bears, it was far from perfect, and they had three girls in foul trouble, and three of them fouled out actually. Bella Fauntleroy, Dariana Littlepage Buggs, and then late in the game, Jaden Owens fouled out as well. And then Caitlin Bickle was also in foul trouble. And so you're having to work through that with some really, as Nicki Collen said after the game, some lineups they hadn't really played a lot of. Erica Porter hasn't played that much. And then Katarina Ferreira is kind of a swing player for them. They had her at the 4, I mean, so they're playing some lineups that they had to get creative with and still won the game. So that was really impressive. I give a lot of credit to their defense. That's an OU team that was averaging 88 points a game, fourth in the country. They hold them to, 71, 70, whatever it was. And then you mentioned Sarah Andrews. I feel like she's really coming into her own. She's such a great ball handler. And that ball handling, I feel like, frees up space for her to get her shot off. She had 5 threes in the game. So she's their go-to. I mean, with no Asia Blackwell, with no Dre Edwards, who was another one of their transfers they were hoping to, have this season. Sarah Andrews, this is her team. So she's taking the reins, I think. And can they sustain it? I mean, they went 15-3 in the Big 12 last year. And if they do that again, I think they win it.
Sure.
But it's a grind. I mean, I actually think the Big 12 is better this year than it was last year. You got about 4 or 5 teams ranked right now. Some other good ones right there. So they've got another tough game Saturday at Kansas, who's also 2-0 in the Big 12 and ranked.